Nature's best, Bobtail.
You're back with Expresso here on SABC3. Now, if you are looking into buying a new dog, our animal behaviorist, Karis Bryan, is here this morning to give us tips on exactly what you should do, what you should be aware of to save yourself a lot of pain and heartache. Hello, Karis, how are you?
I'm good, Leanne, thanks.
Now, we're talking about the whole question of purebreds and not purebreds. Tell us more about that.
Well, Leanne, I can tell you, one of the saddest things I hear from people often is people phone me about coming to puppy school and they say, well, we've just acquired a Labrador or a German Shepherd or some purebred, but we didn't care about papers, so we didn't go for a fancy breeder.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, what that means is they've acquired a purebred dog from people who are not professional breeders, who don't understand the science that is involved in getting a dog that is genetically healthy.
Yeah.
The misconception people have about breeders is that, oh, it's only if you need to go to a dog show or if you want a fancy kind of dog, that's why you go to a professional breeder. But that's really not the case. You go to a professional breeder to get a healthy dog.
Yeah.
Everybody knows stories about dogs who end up with bad hips and bad elbows and bad skin.
Yeah, that happened to us as well. A couple of years ago, we had a Bobtail who started developing problems in his spine and hip problems, and we eventually had to put Max down, which was very heartbreaking for us to see him having to go through all of that pain.
Yes.
So yeah, we could have avoided that because we got him from a neighbor, you know, and
we just happen to have puppies,
Yeah.
and it's fine. And the thing is, people often don't want to go to professional breeders because they're expensive. If you buy a properly bred dog, you must expect to pay for it.
Yeah.
You will spend so much more money later, not to mention the heartache, on vet bills and even going to behaviorists to try to sort out any kind of behavior quirks than if you spend the money up front to go to a proper breeder, because dogs can be genetically unwell, I mean mentally unwell, as much as they can be physically unwell if the breeding is not done properly.
Okay.
So some quick advice for people: if you contact a breeder, that breeder should be picky about you as an individual. They should not just be happy to give you a puppy if you give them some money.
Yeah.
You want someone who's invested the time in their dogs, that they are fussy about which owners they go to. That means they're actually caring about the puppies, not just making money off of them.
Yeah.
If you are not prepared to spend the money and the time, because often to get a purebred dog, there's often waiting lists. A good breeder usually has quite a long waiting list. If you're not prepared to do that, then you should get a crossbreed.
Okay.
Okay? If you have dogs that are not the same breed, that mate and have a baby, a whole litter, the odds are that Mother Nature sorts things out and will create a physically healthy dog.
Wow.
Okay? It's basically like having, you know, it's like if the brother and the sister have babies, it's going to be a bit dodgy. And that's what happens with purebreds. Essentially, they're all related.
Okay.
And so if you get purebred dogs that are not separate enough from each other, having babies, the babies are going to be a little bit... Don't have a kind word for it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So if by getting breeds, by getting two parents that are from completely different breeds, odds are that you're going to get a dog that's physically healthy.
All right.
Okay? So the short version of the story is spend the money, spend the time on a purebred, or else get a crossbreed. Don't get a cheap purebred dog. You're asking for trouble later.
Pain and heartache.
Pain and heartache.
Speaking from experience. Wow, thank you so much, Karis. If you want to find out more information on what we've talked about today, about acquiring a new dog and exactly what you should be doing, go to happydogs.co.za or to Expresso Show's website as well. Karis, always lovely having you in studio with us.
Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's that time of the morning, just gone 8 o'clock, and time for us to bring you your Express.